Hi, okay. So 90% of you said do it. Do the live video. So tonight I'm going to be making my knickraft pattern, which is basically these socks, and I'm going to do it live. I'll show you where to find it on the blog. You can get yourself some yarn. You need 2 hooks, and I'm just going to make some because I'm making some for Christmas, and I thought, hey, I know, I'll show you any tips as I go on what I'm doing, and then I'll put it on YouTube, and then you guys can, you know, join me or just watch me. Anyway, so I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to show you how to find me on the blog. Ready? Bear with. Right, hang on. Turn you around. Ta-da! Okay, so I'm on the Hobbycraft blog, on the Hobbycraft site. Okay, and you just want to scroll down till it says, oh, hang on, scroll down but not too much. UK's #1 craft blog. You want to visit our blog? Yes, please. And then here, knitting and crochet, that's us. And then, in fact, let's go to the drop down because that's easier. We want just crochet. And then there's the crochet along blanket as well. Loads of other cool stuff. Look at those lights. Stockings, wall hangings, advent calendar, and slipper socks. Okay, and then ta-da! So I'm going to make these with you, and I'm going to show you everything you need. You'll need abbreviations, how to make. I'm just going to drop that down just to help prompt me, even though I've made a step recently. I'm not going to remember it off by heart. I'm going to turn you back now. You ready? Hello! Okay. That was real close up, wasn't it? Whoa! So I've got 2 balls of the knickraft Leaves with Pack alpaca mix. It's 90% acrylic, 10% alpaca. Hello everybody! And you can buy that on their website. In fact, it even has a little thing about buy everything you need. You'll need a 6 and a 7 hook. I'm just going to introduce you to my little... I made hooks the other day, and I made one for myself like this. I know, jealous. So, hi everyone! So it's not like one ball makes, you have to use 2 yarns together. So just tear into these bad boys, she says. Okay, and just pull it out from the middle. I've also got Christmas tunes going on. You might be able to hear them very faintly on the background. Very fancy hooks, I know. The reason that I'm doing this also is that on Wednesday, when I usually do my my live podcast thing, I'm not going to be around, so I'm not going to be able to do it. So I thought if I do this, then that should cover me, right? Okay, so working with 2 strands together and using your 6mm hook, you want to make your magic loop, or however you start your work that needs like a magic loop or a foundation ring. The tighter you can get at the beginning, the better. So if you haven't learnt how to do a magic loop, I would recommend going to learn if you can. So, alternative yarn suggestions. Right, because these have got an actual heel, I'm too scared to actually suggest any other type of yarn because it might get a bit tight. Though, once you've seen this tutorial, you might want to have a little practice, and I'll show you at what point I'm talking about that is going to get tricky if you're using a different yarn. If you're using this yarn, I know how it works when you get to the heel part. I hope that helps. I know that's really incredibly unhelpful, but it's, you know, it's three for 2. You know, £8 for a pair of slipper socks is not too shabby. And you can maybe get loads and then just make them for all your friends. And that you'll be like loved forever and ever and ever and ever. Okay, I'll shut up now. So once you've got your magic loop and you... Sorry, I'm so sorry. That's great, thanks Emily, thanks, yeah, great. Good one. Just buy the leader of the pack. And then we can all play together. So I've made a magic loop and I've chained one to secure it. And then it's chain one up to start your next round. And it says 7 half trebles. I'm going to use UK terms here. You might need to look up anything else. So it's 7 half trebles into your loop. So yarn over, into loop, pull through, yarn over and through all 3. You will notice that when you first start, you're thinking, this is slightly tricky with 2 strings together, and the leader of the plaque is slightly fuzzy, so it catches quite a bit. How many have I got there? 3. And also using a much smaller hook, and the reason for that is you're making the toe. And when I first made a pair of these, I was very aware of my toe poking out through the top, so I dropped down the hook size when I started making it using this yarn, so you get a nice tight toe and then it comes out. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, one more makes 7, like so, and then pull your magic loop, ta-da, to make it nice and tight. And of course this is the time that my magic loop isn't tight. Of course it is. I always slip stitch into the first stitch, so the first half treble that I made, that's always where I slip stitch, unless I state otherwise. So if you're working to any of my patterns, just assume that you're going to be working into the first stitch that you created. Ah, I see the problem. Caught. So, because some people slip stitch into the top of the chain, I always slip stitch into the first. Oh, Argentina! Hello, Argentina! Oh, I love it. I love it. Right, okay. So you've got something that looks like, that's not very socky, is it? Round 2, so chain 1 up. I'm not turning, I'm just going to half treble, and I'm going to put 2 half trebles into each stitch round. So that will give me 14, hopefully. So 1, 2, 3, 2. For loose tension with a 5mm hook. If you know you're loose, then yes, I would say drop down a hook size, or maybe only half a hook size. I think that's really important if you're knowing. And also, if you're loose, when you come to the heel part, you'll need to pay special attention, because you don't want the heel to be too tight. But if you're too loose, but if you're using a smaller hook, then possibly that will help anyway. So I've just started making slipper socks. I will sort of make this so you can watch it for 24 hours on here, and then I'll put it onto YouTube, but I also showed you how to find it on Hobbycraft. So I've just done 1 round of half trebles, 7 half trebles into a magic loop. I'm now putting 2 half trebles into each loop in UK terms. Anyone watching I'm a Celeb? I'm trying to get this done before I'm a Celeb, because love I'm a Celeb. So I should have 14 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14! Whew, okay. Round 3 is chain 1 up again, and then you're going 2 into the first stitch, 1 into the following stitch, 2 into the next stitch, 1. So it goes 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 all the way around. So 2 into the first stitch, still on half trebles to keep it nice and tight for the toe. You don't want any toes sticking out. And then just 1 into the next. 2 into the following one, and a single into the next. And repeat that round. It should start to be turning in on itself. If you are left-handed, it will automatically go the right way you need it to go. If you're right-handed, like myself and most of the people out there, your work will start to turn inside out. The right side of your stitches, which is facing you, is starting to sort of move away from you in like a cupped form. I've got a bit twisted there. Let me go back and do that one again. So once we've finished the toe, then I'll show you how I rectify that. It's not hard, but some people end up making their work, I'd say, inside out. It's not, I suppose it's just a personal preference, or they'll sort of feel like, why is this so fiddly? Because you're working from the inside out and you want to be working from the outside in. Ideally, especially I'm left-handed, so see, left-handed people are going to be naturally better at amigurumi because their work will automatically turn the way you want it to go, whereas right-handed people, their work will be made inside out just because of the way that you push against your work. It pushes it away from. Anyway, there you go. There we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. I've ended on a 1, so that must be right. Slip stitch into the top of my first half treble. It's okay, you can catch me on YouTube. Don't worry, Amber, I'm just doing this for those who want to start. Just join in and have a chat. But okay, so I'll show you what I've done here. It's 3 rounds. The first round is 7 half trebles into a magic loop. Hello, Sarah. The second round is 2 half trebles into each stitch, and the third round is 2 half trebles, 1 half treble, 2 half trebles, 1 half trebles, all the way around. So 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1, ending on a 1, slip stitch, and that's your toe. There is some sizing guides here on the Hobbycraft blog. If you see, if I hold my foot up, I know. So that's my toe, and that kind of covers from big toe to little toe. That might not cover your big toe to little toe, so there is a wide fit option on here to do a further round for your toe. All your rounds are kind of worked out. I'm going to stick with this, and now I want to swap to my size 7 hook, my very sparkly size 7 hook. And here we want to chain 1 up. So this will be my round 4 for a wide fit, your round 5. I hope that makes sense. So you've swapped up, and then 1 chain up, and we're doing half trebles around. And now we're just doing half trebles all the way around, just 1 per stitch. Really simple, easy peasy, and that's going to take it up your foot. So I need to do this. Underneath it says, if you go and have a look at the blog, 1 half treble in each stitch around, slip stitch to join, and round 6 says repeat for, and it will tell you how many rounds. I'm a size 5, so I need to do 9 rounds of this. So this is my first round, and I'll be doing a further 8 rounds to get it to go to where I want it to go. So I hope that helps too. And this is the other problem, is that we're working with 2 together. It can snag, but the yarn is so beautiful and makes for really beautiful socks. So the idea is that eventually we'll have like this, you see. And they're so soft and with like its own heel. So got to do 1 round, 1 per stitch. And I've got to do that for 9 rounds. So I can talk to you now about I'm a Celeb. Who's your favourite? Any favourites? Any favourites out there for I'm a Celeb? Though, oh my God, how bad was the, standing on the ledge thing? Not in a million years. Not in a million years. Okay, so now I've got round. You may have noticed that my work was originally sort of like that, away from me. I have now popped it towards me, so I'm working from the outside of my work in. Can you see that? Working from the outside in rather than the inside of my work out. So pop your work like that. That's it. Okay, and then I'm on round 2 of 9, and I'm going to turn my work between each round. So I've chained 1, turn my work now, and this is what gives you the texture and it's just 1/2 treble all the way around, and that's what gives you that sort of textured look running up the sock before you get to the heel, which is, I think, just makes it a little bit different. I've got some Christmas tunes on, and I was a bit worried. I thought, am I breaking them out too early? But we're making like cosy socks. It felt like we needed to have some Christmas on. What's your favourite Christmas tune? Mine has got to be Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You. It's got to be, right? Absolutely got to be. So for anybody who's just joined, you haven't missed too much. I can fill you in. Magic loop, and you're doing 7 half trebles into the magic loop, and then you're doing 2 half trebles into each of those half trebles around for the second round to give you 14, and then the third round of the toe is 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1, and then you start to move up your thing. So I've turned, so now I'm working from the inside out, you see. Okay, chain 1, turn backs on 1, 3 of 9, must keep. Alright? Everyone alright, man? You will get this fast. You'll get this fast when people start asking for you. Fairy Tale of New York. Yeah. Yeah. Also, I am a big fan of The Darkness. And their Christmas tune, though I don't know what it's called. Mariah and Chris T. Which one's the Chris T one? You need to give me some lyrics. I don't know if you can hear my Christmas tunes on. I need to slurp my tea in a minute as well. So this is 2 strands of Leader of the Pack Alpaca. You can see it. I think this is called like Stormy Grey. Grey. It comes in grey, purple, this kind of rose pink colour. Oh yeah, don't let the bells end. Yep. What else? Oh, though, my daughter has been just running around singing Jingle Bells like it's going out of fashion. So we've got to practice Jingle Bells all the time at the moment. So what's that now? I'm on 4 of 9. Please help me remember. I was going to say, Chris T, is that like... I mean, I'm useless at remembering. I think grey is called Charcoal. So I used to make mine. Make the second sock. Yeah. They're quite quick to make. I mean, I think they're quite quick to make. So I'm hoping this won't take me too long to show you how to do it. It's just this middle bit, isn't it? And the bigger your feet, the longer it's going to take you. And I've just realised I'm getting really hot doing this because I'm like speed crocheting for your benefit. I'll show you this, and everyone does this. I know they do, especially if you're making them for yourself, because you just have to see if they fit. So then you end up going, so that's 4 of 9. Slip stitch into the first one. Okay, turn. 5 of 9. 5 of 9. Dilly dee, dilly dee, dee 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 dee. Talk amongst yourselves. So we talked about the other day. I talked about when you're going to put the tree up. So anybody who tunes into this on YouTube and it's not Christmas, I apologise, but it is coming up to Christmas now, and I think we can all say Christmas is fast approaching. You know, there's nativities, 2 nativities on the horizon for me, which is, you know, get the tissues. I always cry, and what's worse is sometimes I don't even cry just at my own kids. I cry at all the kids. You know, like it just they're real royal pain in the arse, these kids, but oh man, is there anything cuter? Hello, Fiona! So that's 5 of 9. Come on, we're almost there. Right, 6. Oh, right. Kimberly was there when we made these. Up, basically. We made these up at the crochet retreat, at the Frank and Olive crochet retreat, which won't be running next year, which is just incredibly, incredibly sad. I totally craft children. That's me. I do that. And it was just the best fun, and we just sat and we just made these boot socks, and it was me and Kimberly were just making them up, and then suddenly everyone sort of like joined in and we're like, so what are you doing there? And we're like, oh, it's 7, start, 2 in, and like this, and before you know it, they were just all over the place. So Kimberly said, will you write the pattern up properly? And then I was sent this yarn by Knitcraft, and I was like, it's perfect. It's perfect for it because it's so snuggly. It just looks like it should be super cozy, snuggly slipper socks. But I only knew how to make it using like a chunky yarn, so I doubled it up. So what am I on now? 7 of 9. You're scared of heels. Don't be scared of heels. Well, that's why I'm doing this, because I think that a lot of people are, and I'm trying to get to the heel as fast as I can so I can show you what you need to do. And what I might do is I might not finish the whole leg of the sock, because the leg of the sock's quite simple to do once it's just going round, and I'll start doing the heel for you so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, so I wrote the pattern up, and sort of was quite happy that I had, because now I can pull it out for... The heels are a complete joy. They really are. They look really scary, but they're so not. They're probably the most simplest thing to do. Oh, thank you. You've paused La La Land. Oh my god, I love La La Land. Oh my god, I love La La Land. Oh, well, thank you. I am honoured making socks. So, you know, La La Land socks, they're the same. Can always catch La La Land. What you need to do is watch La La Land making these socks, and then right at the end when you've made them, because you definitely made them. This is 8, right? Please tell me this is 8, or am I on 9? Where am I? Can you remember what round I'm on? Did I just say? Did I say 7? Oh gosh, I knew I should have had a little piece of paper. And I thought, no, I'll remember. I'll totally remember. So what's everyone doing for Christmas? At home, seeing family. I'm around 8. Sweet. Come on. Oh, even better. I'm like there. Okay, slip stitch into the top of the first half treble. Chain 1 up. I'm only chaining 1 up so it gives, you don't get sort of like a big hole in between. I'm making these. So starting at the toe. When you watch this back, if you do watch this back, I'll show you exactly where to find the pattern on a Hobbycraft blog. And I'm just sort of talking you through and explaining how I've written the pattern, because I was making this the other day, and I was making it with my ladies, and there were a few parts that I felt like I needed to explain. Sock blocker, I know, these were my gift, my yarn gift. Aren't they amazing? These don't need to be blocked, by the way, it's just, they look amazing on the yarn block, on the sock blocker. But I am going to probably make some socks. I am. She says, maybe between Christmas and New Year. It's the fiddly sock yarn scares me. I want to make a sock, finish a sock, very quickly make another one. Right, so that's 9. So that's me, should be me, done, because I am a size 5. And then you have something like that, you see, and it should go up to that point, just where your foot's turning up to your ankle. That's how far. I'm going to poke it. You don't know there. You see? I poked it over my toe. You have to. Once it's got to like that point, you have to. Okay. So now we're leaving enough space for the heel. So I'm going to scroll down so I read this properly. Making the heel space. So you want to chain one up, and you want to put 1 double crochet in to the first stitch you come to. And there is a reason for this. Okay, and then you want to chain 14, and if you're working for so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, phew. Okay, if you're working wide, then you need to chain 16, but I'm working normal. So after I've chained 14, I need to skip 11 stitches. If you're working wide, it's 14 stitches, so I'm skipping 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I'm going to double crochet into the next one along, so the 12th stitch along. Just a double crochet, not slip stitch, just double crochet into that bad boy. And can finish the round by double crocheting around like that. Okay, now we're going to change up to trebles once we finish this. So I'll finish that, there's one more, and then slip stitch into the top of that double crochet, that first one that you put in before you started chaining, and that should leave you like this. And now you'll know, ow, if this works, because you want, yeah, I've got my yarn stuck, you want this chain to freely, still tight enough so it doesn't just fall off your heel, but not so tight you're having to go over my ankle, like that. You just want it to freely glide over your ankle, like that, over your heel. It's probably a better way of saying it. So now we're going to work up this part of the sock. So we've done all the way up to here, we've done a double crochet, which is here, and we're going to work all the way up here. Okay, so you want to chain 2, and you want to treble in each stitch around. So find that first chain stitch, and just treble into each chain stitch. So it's a bit tricky, so you want to keep your chain nice and straight. Try not to twist your chain. That's another thing, when you've done your chain and you double crochet into that to join it, make sure you've kept your chain nice and flat. Well, you can hear the music, oh good-o! I put on some Christmas. Felt like it needs some Christmas. Just need a massive bottle of port now, and some chestnuts on the fire, and Strictly Live final. Get very Christmassy now. I'm very excited about putting up the tree. Do you know what I'm also very excited about? Is this Saturday. This Saturday, I mean, how fast has this come round? It's mine and Amber's arm knitting workshop. How did that happen? I'm so excited. Literally cannot wait. Right, and then, so I've done all my chains, and then you have to go into the top of your first double crochet from that round. So you're following the whole way round. So you go across your chain, and then you carry on across all those double crochets from like the top of the foot. So it's really simple. Don't overthink it. Just look for your next stitch and stick a stitch in it. Okay. Okay. Then, top of your first treble, slip stitch, chain 2 up, and I'm turning again, just like I was going up this part of the foot. So it carries on that sort of texture all the way through. So again, do a treble. And I'm doing this for very next day you give it away. Hang on, I've got carried away singing. Round 2, chain 2, so that's what I'm doing now. And now repeat round 2 for up to round 9, from 3 to 9. So I've got to do 9 rounds of this. Reading my own pattern, like that. So, this is 2 of 9. I'll try not to put you through all of it. And I'll try and just get straight to the heel, which I know quite puts a few people off. Machine. Yeah, I've seen you crochet. You're not like slow coach. Got to get it done, right? Bosh it out, weave in the ends, get that done. Get it done, get it made. I'm terrible at I've talked about this before, but which is why my Instagram's all over the place, because my brain, if I have an idea and it's in my head to the point where I can't move on, I have to just make it so I can just move on with my life. Otherwise it just taunts me, and that gives me, I lose my croja a bit if I try and put it to the back of my mind, because it sort of goes, no. So that's 2. Is that a special crochet hook? Just something I knocked up. Oh, I've just done a massive shop update. There are some sparkly hooks on my shop, which is makeshop.com. Literally like that, MAKEE shop.com. And there are some pink ones, fuchsia pink. There's one lilac, and then there's a whole load of certain ADHD. I know, honestly, I think there's something, I'll say it again, I think I have a problem. But there are some marble crochet hooks as well with the rose gold, and in the picture it's not clear on my thing, but the actual hook is rose gold as well. I need to update the picture. So not only is the handle marble with a rose gold leaf end, the actual hook is rose gold coloured. Oh, it's quite something. It is quite something. Someone pass me a mulled wine. Go on. I was really close to cracking open some bubbles, and I thought, I've tried to teach after having a few too many bubbles before. I'm not very good at teaching under the influence, after a lot of bubbles. Anyone coming to the arm knitting workshop, I will be having a glass of bubbles before we start because it's so much more fun. I'd had quite a lot of bubbles. Well, you know, crochet's fun, right? It's our time off. It's fun and games. Keep it fun, people. I'm gonna have a sip of my tea. I've like worked up a proper sweat. Cheers. Oh, it's gone slightly cold. Who can drink cold tea? I can't drink cold tea. I have to put mine in the microwave. I'm going as fast as I can, guys. So yeah, this is just the Knitcraft blog under crochet patterns for the Makey slipper socks, which, you know, in a couple of evenings you can have whipped up for the lovely people in your life. You can make them look gorgeous by adding pom-poms, whatever you like. Kimberly, what did you add? Did you do like a star stitch around yours? I hope you're still with me, otherwise I'm just talking to midair. Did you add a star stitch or something around yours at one point? Because I think Kimberly stopped short, just slightly short, and made them sort of more like ankle boots, whereas I went full sock mode. I tell you what could also, let's see, yes, it was a star stitch. There you go. I tell you what you could also do is yarn, other yarns. We used in in a contrast, and you used mustard, didn't you? You were doing teal and then you put mustard through it. And then we were using originally, we used Rowan Big wool. So that would be, I know that that definitely works because this is just the same, exactly the same. It's just, this is very, very close to the same sort of size, thickness. So how many have I done there? 1, 2, 3, 4. It was Rowan Big wool. Yeah, so that could also work if you're looking for, but that is uber pricey, and there is no reason why this isn't just as good and looks just as good. They don't have mustard, unfortunately, but they do have some other lovely colours like that rose pink. I think, did she use, or didn't she use, I thought she used some Rowan, like Aran in there. I can't remember. Amanda at Little Box of Crochet was also on the retreat, and we'd used up all the Rowan Big. And Amanda used something else, and hers looked beautiful. They were sort of like a mint colour. They weren't far off this kind of colour. They looked gorgeous, with white pom-poms I think they had as well. I should just see if she's still got them and ask her to maybe post a little picture. But then we were sort of, when it came to the heel, we weren't following a pattern, we were sort of working it around our own feet, so she probably didn't follow the exact pattern that I'm doing here, which is why I worry about offering up other yarn ideas. Yeah, because it was, yeah, Katie Webber was there and she did their party hat, which was awesome, and is now pride place in our kids' room. Right, so I'm going to stop there. I'm going to put a little stitch marker in, and I'm going to see if I can pull it out from the middle. So, hang on, let me grab a stitch marker. Just grab one of my own stitch markers. These are also for sale in my shop. Plug. I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to go straight to the heel, and then I'll finish this bit in a minute, because I know this is the bit that's going to scare people. So, excuse me while I try and find the middles, which could get a bit confusing, but we'll have a go. Kathy, I thought it was Kath, but I'm useless with names, so I always assume that other people know, and I'm just like, hang on, right, 2 ends from the middle. You don't have to do this, by the way. I would suggest making it up to the end of the pattern, casting off, snipping off, and then coming back to the heel, but I don't want you guys to get completely bored of me making basically a sock with a massive hole in it. So to make the heel, I've put on the pattern, join yarn to the corner of the mouth of the heel opening. So this, imagine this is a mouth. I'm a sock. Join it to the corner. So I am going to join mine here. I hope that's sort of clear. Pull the 2 strands through to come from this side. I'm just tying it on. I don't know if you'd join yours any other way, but I just tie mine on. Go straight back into that same stitch that you just tied it on and chain 1 up. And you're still using your size 7 hook here. And then you want to chain 1, and then you want to double crochet in each stitch round. So you're working on like the back end, you're working on the tops of the stitches from that side of the heel, and then at the top here you're working on the other side of that chain that you put in. So one side's going to be very obvious and the other side's going to be a little bit tighter and less obvious. So it's just 1 double crochet into each stitch round, including into the corner of your heel, which I'll point out in a minute. Like this. See, and then there's like a very, so I've got to the end of those, and then there's like this big hole here, so I'm going to pop one in there as well. Fill that hole, because otherwise if you jump over it doesn't really work. And then you're working on the other side of the chain, which is where it's a bit tighter and a little less obvious, and especially if you're using the dark charcoal. So they do like a fawn colour, like a biscuit colour, which is really beautiful as well. So if you are sort of not a newbie, but you know, a little less confident, and you want to be able to see your stitches a little clearer, I would recommend using a lighter colour, because this is quite dark and tricky to see what I'm doing. Okay, so all the way round, and then slip stitch into that first double crochet until you have something that sort of looks like that. Anyone who's just joined making socks, and we're just putting in the heel part now. So we've done that one, and now you want to chain 1, and it says 1 double crochet into the next 11 stitches. If you did a wide fitting, it'd be next 13. This is where it's going to be, you need to keep an eye on where the corners of the mouth are, and I'll explain why in a minute. So it's 11, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Now, it's happened to just land in the right place for me on this round. But, so what you want is sort of 3 stitches coming up to your corner point. So you want 1 corner, 2, 1, 2, 3, which is sort of 1, 2, 3, if you imagine going into the corner of that mouth. And you want to bring them all together. If you do 11 and you're suddenly sort of like, you come round this part of the mouth and you're further over, just take a couple out. Just make sure you're doing your 3, bringing your 3 together when you get to the corner. It's not going to make any difference. Don't worry if like you haven't got that amount of stitches in. It's only the heel. Do not panic. So it's as a guide, it's a pattern, it's a guide. So 1, 2, 3, I've got 3 on my hook. I'll do that again. I don't know if anybody has done a 3 double crochet together. So you go into your first stitch, yarn over, pull through so it stays on your hook. So you've got 2. If you're doing a normal double crochet, you just finish your stitch now. We're not. We're going to go on to the next stitch, into your stitch, yarn over, pull through, so you've got 3 on your hook. And we're not going to go through any of those. We're going to carry on because we want to do 3 together. So now we've got 4 on our hook, and you want to yarn over and pull through all 4. And that brings all those 3 stitches into 1. Now you want to do double crochets all the way around, and it says it will be 10 stitches, but you want to go until you get to those corner 3. So you've got 1 this side, 1 going around the other side, and 1 in the middle, or the last 3 stitches actually, because you're coming up to the point where you join. So you come up to your last 3 stitches. So them there, and then it's in, yarn over, pull through, in, yarn over, pull through, in, yarn over, pull through, got 4 on your hook, yarn over through all 4, and then you just slip stitch that top double crochet to join. And then what you've done is you've started to pull your stitches together. Chain 1 up, and you want to go round, you want to do double crochets, and then where you see you've done your 3 together, the stitch before, the way you've done the 3 together and the following stitch, they're the 3 that you want to then do the same as we just did. That might be a bit confusing, so I'm going to just do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, should be 9. She says should be. Yes, it is. So 9. And then you've got 3, the next 3. So in, over, pull through, in, over, pull through, in, over, pull through. So you've got 4 on your hook. So you've worked into the next 3 stitches, yarn over, pull through all 3. And then carry on double crocheting until you get to your last 3 stitches again. Keep going round. And do that, pulling in the corners for 3 rounds, and then you just do 2 rounds normal. So we've got my last 3, so yarn in, yarn over, pull through, in, yarn over, pull through, in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over for all 3, slip stitch to join, chain 1 up. And then you want to do that again, so 7 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I hope I'm not going too fast. Please shout if there's anything that I've sort of said that you're thinking, what? And I'll do it again. So I've got to the corner again, and I've got those 3 that I want to join. So it's in, yarn over, pull through. In the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. In the 3rd stitch, yarn over, pull through. It'd be so good with a contrasting heel and a contrasting toe, because you can do that. Yarn over, and then pull through all 4 on your hook. I mean, you can literally, it's endless. You could do like bobble stitch around the top. You could do, could you imagine bobble stitch around the top? Especially if you did it in like Christmassy colours and you did it Not red fresh. Thanks, man. Last 3 stitches. So this is the last round that I need to do this in. So yarn over, pull through 1, next stitch yarn over, pull through 1, third stitch yarn over, pull through 1. You've got 4 on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 4. And then it's just yarn into that first double crochet, slip stitch. So that's the last bit of the decrease. And you have something that's looking a bit more socky. Can you see? Right, so now it's just 2 rounds, just 2 normal rounds of double crochet. So I've slip stitched, I'm going to chain 1, I'm just going to double crochet all the way around. No fancy bits. It's really simple. No, it's like the basic stitch. You just, if you know where your corners are and how to do 3 together, there's absolutely no reason why you can't do a heel. I'm going to sneeze, I'm so sorry. I can feel it coming. Look at the light, look at the light. Oh, it's gone. Because I said it. Slip stitch to join, and 1 more round like that. Chain 1, double crochet all the way round. So what's everybody watching tonight? Or what's everybody making tonight? Slipper socks. Slipper socks. If anyone's thinking what the hell I'm making slipper socks from Hobbycraft. And you can, at the beginning of this, I showed you exactly where to find it. Sort of scrolled through on my laptop so you can find it. Okay. Now, slip stitch then. Slip stitch to join. Now, you want to turn it inside out. So I'm going to pull that stitch through quite a lot. The Waking Dead and knitting some Star Wars beanies. I want a Star Wars beanie. Oh, I love The Walking Dead too. Okay, so you've got your sock that kind of looks like a donkey puppet. And you want to, hot water bottle cover. I did the girls like mini hot water bottle covers last year. They like the idea of them, but not so much. Right, so then I pull it through, like that. Now, you'll be kind of at the end of your yarn by this time, and then what you want to do is just keep pulling until you get your ends through, but I don't because mine are attached to the balls that I've sort of finished early. So, turned it all inside out and I've got my stitch here. Put my hook back in the stitch, close that up again, and then just line up your stitches through the bottom of the heel. So you just shut your mouth like that. And slip stitch across, kind of marry them up if you can. Sort of find some stitches and line them up against each other and just slip stitch that seam together, she says. Totally losing her yarn. If you wanted to do this with just 1 strand as well, that's cool, and that would stop it being such a chunky seam. I'm just going to do mine with 2 because it's all attached. And last one. So then I'm going to use some scissors. I'm just going to snip that away. I'm going to pull out my working yarn so it's not in the way. And yarn over, pull through, halt and catch fire and some crochet applique. Ooh, what's halt? Okay, so once you've slip stitched across, then you can weave in your ends. I'm going to use a small hook to weave in my ends. And I know that everybody weaves in differently. I sort of do an under and over approach and then sort of back myself. My weaving in ends sort of changes. It varies from day to day, what kind of mood I'm in, how much I think it's going to come undone, where I'm going to go. I don't know if there's an official way to weave in ends. All patterns just sort of say, weave in ends, and you go, okay, I'll have a go with that. Oh, it's okay, because I need one on Amazon Prime, because we've got Amazon Prime. Though I can't start something without my husband, he'd be gutted. Right, so I've done my seam, snip off the ends, pull it the right way round, push out the heel. You didn't! Look! I mean, how easy is that? It's not hard, it's just double crochet. Everyone can do double crochet, it's the first thing you learn. Decreasing in the corners over 3. You can even see the decreases there. Last 2. And then look, like a glove. Oh, they're so warm. But getting that chain is absolutely crucial. You don't want to get that too tight because there's no more pull on that. That just slips over my heel. So I'm a size, that's a 5 to 6. So yes, if you're a 6.5, go up a size. Right, so now I'm going to finish the top for you. If it's got animal fibres, you can felt the ends, and it's a revelation. I want to felt the ends in. I've got felting needle, though me and felting needle have had words. So I'm going to finish the ends. So how many have I done here? So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you need 9. So I've slip stitched to join there, chain 2 up, and then I'm turning. So, where am I? Yeah, treble. I feel like I'm going back the same way. I need to work up where I am. Oh, I was going turning. Let's see. Right. I just went back just so I could double check. Oh, I really stabbed myself and I drew blood. It really hurt. Right, turn. So how many did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to do 4 more rounds of trebles around here. And then I'm going to show you how I get like a sort of a slightly ribbed top that has then got, sort of holds it sort of up your leg, because this yarn is also quite slippery. Because it's got the alpaca in it, so though we are using slightly smaller hooks than it suggests to use, so it is sort of going to hold its shape, but you don't want your socks just sort of slouching down too much. You want them to sort of stay up a bit, keep your ankles warm. So put in, oh look, I've got all tangled now. I took the middles out and I need to tuck them back in, but I'm going to see how long I can go without having to tuck them back in. So I'm making socks. This is going to look like this. But felting in the ends is such a great idea. So now this is where I'm going to go wrong. Hang on. Hang on. Oh no. It was such a good idea. It was such a good idea. Shove that in there. In there, right. Keep going. No, just don't worry about that. But this yarn's so like, you can't see. It's telling me